So the three of you, last time you sneaked into Skyreach Castle, the floating castle that led the army of raiders, the army of hobgoblins mainly, but many different species up to that had been summoned together by Chuth and was closing in on the secret elven kingdom of Everesta. And Claire, do you remember what happened in the castle?
Yeah, we sort of walked around the castle and snooped around quite badly in a way, but eventually enough we bumped into the actual queen of the castle, the
Esclarota, the cloud
yes,
giantess.
yes, the cloud giantess, the keeper of the castle, and yeah, and she wanted to she spoke to us, and she gave us an item that belonged to her to her husband, and she helped us to and she escorted us back to the mainland where the elves lived, and the elves, or the elf mage or wizard or whatever, he helped us to locate his location with the location monster spell. So now we got his location, and now we're going to head in that direction to go and save him.
More or less.
More or less, yes. In a way. So yeah, so she's going to try and stall as much as she can, and with the attack, whilst we go and rescue her husband.
Yes, her husband Blagothkus. You brought Blagothkus's giant wedding ring, cut out of the thigh bone of a blue dragon that he was supposed to have killed in the past, and with that, Gervas, the elven elder of Evereska, could use his magics to locate the whereabouts, more or less, of the giant. But first he needed to rest and study his spells so he could summon the proper spell. And you were also exhausted from your, well, you had been tried in the castle, so you also took advantage of the time to take a rest. Probably just a short rest for most of you, unless you're an elf. 4 hours, and then you meet back with the elven elder in a chamber above the halfway, one of the guest chambers above the halfway inn, looking out over the valley below and the armies forming in the distance, making their way towards you. He looks out the window, but then he turns back to you, and there is a spinning wheel in the corner of the room, and he sits down next to it and starts spinning, muttering eldritch words, and moving some sort of spider silk into the wheel. And as it spins and the spokes sort of turn into a blur, there in the blur, a sort of picture, as his magical voice recites, intones divination magic, an image forms in the whirling spokes, and you see appearing again somebody the same size as Esclarota, the giantess, bigger than her, but in chains, in shadows, not. It doesn't look like he's underground, but at the bottom of some chasm or something like that, with a heavy chain binding his ankle. And for a second, he looks up and frowns as you catch this glimpse of him, and let's see. Ty, can you roll a d20 plus 5 and tell me what the result is?
6.
6. Excellent. So, so he looks up, and there's for a moment the image flickers, but then it settles again, and and Gervas, the elven elder, says, "Ah, this is good. A powerful giant like this one. They are wise. They are wise and magical creatures. And this one does not know me. He has no reason to trust me. So there was a good chance that he might have been able to resist my magic, and we would have learned nothing. But but we can now look around, and my magic creates a sort of invisible eye next to him, and we can use it to work out where he is," he says. And looking around, if you go to roll 20, I'll just change the image so you get some sort of impression of where the giant is. Is the image forming?
Yes.
Yes.
So at the bottom of some deep cavern, chasm, he's sitting there with chains around his ankles, bolted by this chain to the rock wall. There are goblins moving around, and you can also hear. There are also sounds coming through the image on the twirling spokes, and you can see the giant, just his head down. He seems to be having a rest at the moment. There's some sort of corpse, animal bones, and the remnants of animal sort of bulls, cows, horses next to him that he's been gnawing on. Goblins moving around, and from a cave, it's not clear, but I'll sort of ping where it is. Sort of underneath this goblin there's an entrance into a sort of small cave entrance, and you can hear a sort of sound coming from the cave. This is strange, says this is strange, says the elven elder to you. What do you know of these creatures?
These are goblins by the looks of them. Mighty mage.
The giant itself, did you not say it is one of the cloud species?
Yes, it is.
I believe so.
They are a magical being, as far as I know. I do not understand how it can be held captive as it is.
Perhaps the chains are, chains of reduced magic. There are things in this world that can strip a wizard of its magical powers. I have heard of these things, but never actually seen them in practical use, but I do know they do exist, like bonds of like magic restrictions. Paladins of the law use them quite often to arrest wizards who do necromancy things.
Perhaps they've also given him some kind of a story. They may have also lied to him about something or threatened his family somehow.
It is strange, he says, but you need to find out why he is not. He can turn, if he is a cloud giant, he can turn into mist. He can levitate. The things that hold him here do not, in my knowledge, seem strong enough to hold him. There must be some other bond on him.
Maybe. It may be from like a curse or some sort of thing upon him caused by the green dragon.
Truth, probably.
Truth. Yes.
Probably has threatened not just his family, but his kingdom with death and destruction. So he sits here.
No, that could be
obeying as a protection to his people, possibly. Such things can be strong motivators to good rulers.
And as you say truth, you see a dragon's head enters the image, or the shadow of a dragon, or the silhouette of a dragon is reflected in the pool that he's in. I'd like you to make a nature roll to a nature roll, please, each of you. If you can make it an advantage, Charlie.
Another 6.
I got a 4. I don't know nothing.
Let's see here. Nature.
It's a cute little lizard.
Thank God it was an advantage, but it's 13.
13. Okay.
Yep.
And yes, you see the silhouette of or the shadow of a dragon rippling slightly in the water. So because of the ripples, it's difficult to get a very clear picture. But your first impression is that it's not Chuth. You've seen Chuth various times, and this one doesn't appear to be Chuth.
Bale will say, this is not the great, so-called great green worm. This is a minion of his, maybe some ill-begotten offspring that is overlooking it and ensuring that whatever bargain that was struck is struck and staying in place.
And you get a. It's difficult to see, but it's difficult to see for sure. But you get the impression that it has. This one has brow plates jutting over its eyes and extending back into long horns that grow in a series of overlapping segments, and there's cheek ridges and jaw frills in the shadow that you see in the pool. And the giant looks up, and the giant looks up at the sky, and it's you see that it's looking miserable, but it calls up at the thing. Are you coming down to talk again, or do I have to go back to work? Says the giant. And a voice comes from above. You can rest for a little longer. I don't think Chuth will be back for a while. Take your rest whilst you can.
He needs to work, says one of the goblins. We need to dig out more. We need to find more of the arsenic.
Which
Let him
little
rest.
do we
Comes
notice
the voice.
which one of the goblins seems to be the slave driver saying that?
The what?
Arsenic.
No, you don't notice.
Okay.
Go on.
Can I do a medicine roll to see what arsenic is?
It's a poison.
Ah. Okay. It seems they are digging out deadly poisons from these mines.
Love, come to bed.
Comes a call from the cave, and then after a while, that's the image you get. There's not much going on at the time that you focusing on it, and
Do we notice anything that may be unique geographically by this eye?
Make a. You can look around. You can't. The eye can't move very far from the giant. It's got to be within 10 feet of the giant. So you only really get an impression of the pool he's in. But
when he looks up at the sky.
Yeah. Okay. When he looks up at the sky, you follow his gaze up, and I'm going to give you a quick impression of what you see. So I'm going to move the image to what you see. Just a second.
Okay.
Has it formed?
Yes, it looks like
Yeah.
it has.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's a pillar of rock in a very distinctive shape, and there looks to be overlooking trees and things like that of a certain type. And you've all travelled fairly widely in your adventures, both together and alone. And there's a fair chance that even if you haven't been there yourself, you'll know of it. So think through. Go on.
Bale will also ask the magician doing the wizard doing the scrying, or any of the other locals that are around that may be in the room, if they recognize this mountain, strangely shaped mountain.
They do. I mean, it's perhaps not a mountain, but it looks like some sort of volcanic outcropping, and they think it's down in Nyissa, I think it's the name. On the.
Thanks so much.
Let me just check the map.
And I don't know if it's there in the image we see within the game, but at least in the Roll20 image in the bottom, there's a couple of, looks like towers. Maybe one's a bell tower.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if that's actually there in the actual image we're seeing,
I mean,
there may be a castle or something there too.
I'm going to, there could well be. I'm just on the wrong page.
So
I see what's happened.
A castle at the bottom of a hopefully dormant volcanic mountain.
There's a fair bit of steam coming from coming out of the mountain, so it's not completely dormant.
Okay. Well, still, a castle basically at the foot of such a mountain should be a fairly rare thing.
Yeah.
I would think. So there shouldn't be a lot of places like that around.
It's not a full-sized castle. It looks like just a small watchtower or keep.
Okay.
But from the image of it, and talking amongst yourselves, and from you, both of you are dragon hunters by profession, and you've sort of heard rumors in your days about various places where dragons hide out, and this hill, known as the Serpent's Cauldron, is to the let's just see if I can find I'll go back to the map just a second to give you an idea.
Hey, it's my main man, bro. How's it going, man?
No, this map doesn't show. It's basically to the west of here, to the northwest. There are past the Forest of Worms, you get into serpent kind of kingdom, Nyissa, and it's on the edges of the Forest of Worms and Nyissa.
Okay.
Oh, it's you. What do you want? My stupid sister Madison spilled beer all over me. I know she did it on purpose too, even though she never.
And then the image fades,
No, I'm dripping wet. I need to
and
Okay.
and Gervas turns to you. Are you resolved to go and try and rescue this man, this giant?
Indeed.
I believe so.
Yes, our word is our bond. That's the treaty we made with his madam.
And I honor you for it. Then
And it may be the only way to save Evermeet and your halfway house is to seal this bond. And he is the price of the bond, so we have to.
then actually, what happened? I've decided what's happened. He when you got the image of when the giant looked up and you saw the top of the mountain, he you got enough of an impression of the mountain for Gervas to cast the spell again, and the second time he cast it to see the mountain, not the giant, and that's where you got the other. That's where you could see the rest of the details, and including all the things that are on the map. There are some dead trees following a poisonous stream coming down from the waterfall cave. A little cave at the top called which looks like a perfect place for a dragon to perch and watch the surrounding territory.
Vale will ask, how far is this from where we're at right now? How many days travel by foot?
You don't need to ask because you've studied the maps. You know your way around this
Okay.
this land, and it would be I thought I had a map, but
Sorry, but I don't think I'm comfortable enough with you to
just a
do
second.
that.
But it's a good 3 weeks away.
3
Probably
weeks.
walking.
Going.
But
And
but
how much?
Actually,
how much time do we feel that the Cloud Giant King's queen may be able to buy us on the stall?
Not 3 weeks. But,
well, and Bale doesn't feel that we have that much time. There's a sense of urgency you'll hear in the back of his throat when he's talking.
Can we be magic there faster somehow?
I can do it, but again, my magic is there is an element of risk in doing this. I have not been to this place before. It is not a place I know well.
But
if you are willing to take the risk,
but you have seen it, though.
I'm willing to take that risk
with the scrying. So, as I was raised, there's no glory and honor without the risk of failure. So let's jump upon the horse that leads us to glory and honor for our family names.
Very well. Before I send you, though, the spell has finished, but with an illusion, he conjures up as the image of the hill of the dragon's crest that he created with his scrying magic, and says, "And where on this mountain would you like to appear?"
Fuck me. This one's locked too.
Where this waterfall comes out of the center of the mountain.
Just to draw your attention to the fact that on the I'll ping the pit, or the sort of the chasm that the giant is working on is sort of where I'm pinging at the moment.
God, that is totally it.
Would you like to appear on the waterfall cave, the dragon's perch, the summit, the quarry, or at the bottom? They're all equally easy or difficult for me.
Huh.
Somewhere more easier, no doubt.
To travel with magic to a place I have seen but do not know well, it has an element of risk to it.
Part of me thinks we should just go to the quarry directly and try to free the giant, but we don't really know what's holding him either.
Bale is kind of still staying the course of the waterfall cave, believing that, and he'll give his reasoning as such that it may allow us an entrance to give us surprise and stealth, and maybe find out more about what is holding the Cloud Giant King there, other than maybe his word.
That sounds fine with me. I'm not opposed to that.
So the two of you are happy with that, and you, champion of Lathander?
Yes, I'm quite happy with that.
Very well. Are there any last-minute preparations you'd like to make before I send you on your way?
I'll need to restock on my arrows. And Bale asked the question: Are we bringing Grindretta for our sacrifice? I hear dragons like hags.
It would be nice if
Damn.
David. What do you think?
Definitely.
Are you taking good Redder?
No. I leave Gridder in the safe hands of the elves.
Dog.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. One other detail. When you were just the second time he cast the spell, and you were just looking at the mountain, the serpent's cauldron, you could see various birds flying around and the mists rising from the mountains. And the waters tumbling, but occasionally you saw signs of the birds reacting to something. The boughs of the trees at one stage gave way to some weight, but you could not see what was there. There's some sort of invisible or unseen presence traveling around on the mountain, or unseen by the magic anyway, by the divination you used.
Let's get ready and go.
And you also saw that there were some humans or humanoids. One in armor down by the tower at the bottom of at the pool at the bottom.
All right. So we have guards there. Got guards flying around. We got some kind of magical, mythical thing there. I still say Waterfall Cave gives us an opportunity to at least get in. And fight our way or sneak our way back out. We're going to have to fight some, there's no doubt. If they have these little harpy goblins overseeing the king.
Vale is obviously itching for a fight.
The worst that happens is we fall, but we take a bunch of them with us. But I don't plan on falling today.
Fall? Hell. I only slip once in a while.
Waterfall sounds good to me.
So, if you're all prepared, last minute preparations or last minute things, you are free to fill your quivers and with elven arrows. You're relieved to find good quality elven arrows, not the human stuff you've been making do with recently.
As long as I have arrows, they're good enough. And Bale will fill his 2 quivers with them and feel prepared. He feels a tugging from the bow of Kamel, especially with Kamel being there, seeing the dragon and everything. It's wanting to slay a dragon. It's wanting to bring revenge, justice.
Yep. I'm there with you, brother.
So, yeah, the 2 dragon slayers. Forget this rescue mission. You're out to kill a dragon.
No.
They both go hand in hand.
We're there to rescue the giant, and if any dragons are dragon cronies are in the way, then they can pay the price.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
anything to circumvent Chus' design is nothing more than pure pleasure in my heart.
And is Claire doing any? Is Claire saying anything or doing any last thing before you go?
No, she just readies her morning star, readies her shield, yeah, and just is ready to go.
Okay. So,
Let's. All she says is let the light of Lathander guide us, and he
You
shall
gonna
strike.
give any? You gonna give any instructions to your little apprentice hag?
All I can say to Condreda is to listen carefully to the elves, and I shall be back. I'll give her enough.
I hope you're not including this one in your instructions. She says.
No.
Yeah.
I sort of give her a bit of gold, and I say, here's some gold for like getting yourself a little room and and something to eat, and don't get yourself into trouble.
And you don't. The elf's quite good at getting you into trouble, but take care.
I try my best.
Okay. So, Gervas, again, his voice intones some eldritch incantations, and a shimmering circle appears in the air in front of you, and he says, "You have seconds to go through. All of you, go through now."
Okay.
See you on the other side, one way or the other.
Before he gets done saying you only, Bale's across.
Escott will go across.
Yeah, I got across as well.
Well, let's see. Roll initiative, all of you.
All right.
That was quick.
I love it.
Yes! 24.
Let's see here.
That's as good as I can get.
Bale has
an 18.
21 for Bale.
Wow.
Okay.
It was false.
Yeah, but we all did good.
Yeah. Just say them again. Escott 24.
24. Yes.
Bale 21.
Yep.
And Claire 18.
Yes.
Right. Escott, because you're the first to move and first to go through, can you roll a D100, please?
Yes, and I got a 98.
Oh.
Which will be very bad or very good, one or the other.
Okay. Yep. You arrive. You suddenly you leave the sweet forest smells of an elven built house on the edge of an elven kingdom, and find yourself in a stinking, fetid, sulfurous cave with fumes blowing around you, choking plants all over the place, and water tumbling down into the mists below. And you there with the fumes, the fumes clog up your lungs and make it difficult to breathe. There's water running down your nose and in your eyes. And can you all make a poison save, please?
What is that, Constitution?
Constitution, DC 14.
And I got 4. I failed.
I got an 8. I failed. Unless
Bale got an 8.
Okay, all of you, suddenly this sulfurous smell sort of overwhelms you, and you are suffering the poisoned effect. You've got disadvantage on all saves, attacks, etc. at the moment, and at the same time, scuttling out of the darkness is something that looks a bit like a as your eyes are adjusting to the change in light and things like that, your improvision, you see some large crustacean, some large crustacean, perhaps a huge crawfish or something like that, scuttling out of the darkness towards you. But you are the first to. You went in ready for combat, but see if you. I'd like you to all make a perception roll at disadvantage, please.
Ooh, that was nice.
I got
perception.
I got a 5.
I got a 21 with a disadvantage. God. Yeah.
17.
17. Okay. Good. So the first Estgod, you come out in this cave. You're looking the wrong direction. You just are overwhelmed and choking and not aware of something else. So you miss the first round of combat as you're sort of surprised. You can take reactions now, but you can't act on the first round.
Okay.
And Bale, you came in ready for a hostile reception, and the first thing you see is a large, about the size of a horse, crustacean with large claws, sort of scuttling towards you.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take my sharpshooter, and I'm going to take the -5. And maybe foolish, but and I want to shoot twice.
It's at very short distance. It'll be here on you in no time. But
okay, is it? Well, I'm already shooting at disadvantage, so it don't matter.
It'll be within 30 feet of you. So
okay. Okay, the first shot is a -1.
Yeah.
The second shot.
Congratulations.
Okay. The second shot would be a 19.
Okay.
With disadvantage.
Your first shot. Because it's -1, we've got to have something. Roll a d20, please.
Okay. 7.
So I'm afraid that your first shot, friendly fire, that is. So 1 to 3, it's Claire. 4 to 6, it's Estgod. Can you roll for me?
Okay. Yeah. 1.
That was Claire, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So can you tell Claire the damage as you?
What did he hit me with? My
Pardon?
armor class is 22.
It's still if he gets a fumble, it's counted as friendly fire. It's counted as a crit. I mean, it doesn't do critical damage, but it is counted as a 20. So it'll be a hit.
Okay, and that's 14 points of damage.
Ouch. Okay.
Okay. And the second one though, you shoot your companion. You've got a famous reputation for shooting your companions anyway. You know. Why hold back now? And then your second arrow goes and hits the crustacean. Finds a
and that's 10, 14, 17, 18 points of damage.
Okay. And then Claire, how do you react to being shot in the back?
I go, ow! And I sort of say, which way are you aiming that thing? And I just sort of like try to like get the arrow from like one of my sort of plates of metal and like pull it out. Mm-hmm. And then like and then I use I just like lay on hands on myself.
And
hit
Bale
myself for 5 points of damage. There you go.
Bale would answer that and say, "Didn't you see that wormling right there next to you?"
Just to remind you, because you're second level as a paladin, aren't you?
It's 10. Yes.
Well, just to remind you, you're suffering under the poisoned effect at the moment, but you can use 5 of those to cure poison.
Yes, and I use 5 of those to cure poison. And
5 hit points back. So that will be your reaction before this crustacean comes down on you. Would you like to move as well?
Yeah. All right. And so now that I'm not poisoned anymore, and not got disadvantage anymore, I shall raise my shield. So now I have a armor class of 22. And then I shall invoke a spell of let's see, Shield of Fate.
No, you can't. You've already taken your action.
Oh, this is a bonus action though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you got a bonus action, haven't you? So yes, yep.
Because Shield of Fate is a bonus action, not a action.
Okay. Yep.
So a massive white orb comes around me like whoop, and gives me a +2 to my armor class. So like now she's tanking. The tank is here.
Yep, definitely a tank. Let's see.
Let's walk it down.
And this one crustacean, you hear, then you see another one scuttling towards you behind it. The first one, 1 to 2, it'll go for Claire. 3 to 4, Bale. 5 to 6. So 1 to 2, it's going for Claire, and the second one is going for Escod. So let's see. Against it comes in with its 2 pincers, and tries to get a grip on Claire.
You can try
from a distance. The first clangs harmlessly off your armor. So does the second one. And coming against Escod, the first one, armor class of 23.
Oh, that will hit.
Yeah. So before you have time to react, barbed claw closes around on one of your arms, and you take you take 14 hit points damage.
Okay.
Bludgeoning if it's important, and it closes in on your it closes in on you. This claw closes in on you. The other one also lashes out. The other claw lashes out at you. And Does an armor class 20 hit?
Normally it would, because I only have an armor class of 18, but as a war mage, I'll use my arcane deflection, which allows me as a reaction to add +2 to my AC.
Oh. 20 would still hit you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would. Okay, yeah, I'm hit again.
So, and this time for 11 points damage.
Okay.
Oh. And as that happens, the thing's maw opens and loads of tentacles come flying out towards you. It's still holding onto you with its two claws, and the tentacles comes flying out towards you, finding gaps in your armor, trying to sort of penetrate through your helmet and any gaps it finds. Make a DC 13 Constitution save, please.
With disadvantage because of the poison, right?
Does poison give you disadvantage on saves?
I don't know. You're the DM. I mean,
yeah. Anyone remember this off the top of their head?
I don't know this particular poison.
It's just a standard poisoned. You're suffering from the standard poisoned effect from the player's handbook.
Okay, that's creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
But not saves. Okay, it's a standard save.
Oh, well, in that case, I got a 23.
Okay. Damn, I got this the wrong way around, but never mind. For a second, your muscles start tightening up, and you're finding it very difficult to move, and you feel yourself going rigid, and as this creature's slimy poison sort of penetrates your skin, but and there's pain all over your body, and you just can't move. But then you push through the pain, and you're able to move. It's your turn. What would you like to do?
Can I attack, or am I grappled?
It's with one of its pincers, it's got one arm, and with its other pincer, it's got a leg. You can't move away from it, but you can attack. But,
okay.
I'm going to say if you're trying to use two hands, you've got disadvantage anyway. So you can't use a two-handed weapon.
No, I've got a shield in one arm and a longsword in the other. So
choose which one you would like to be held. Which one is ineffective?
The shield is ineffective.
Okay.
So I'll try to hit it with my longsword then.
Okay.
And I've got 2 attacks with disadvantage. Okay, the first one is an 11, so I'm sure that'll miss.
It bounces off its tough chitinous hide.
The second one is an 18.
That one, you managed to find a gap between two of its plates.
Okay, I
and
do
cut into the white fleshy white flesh underneath.
10 points of slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go ahead and action surge and try to hit it twice more. First hit, no, that'll be a 9. That'll be a miss. The second hit will be a 16.
Yes, the second one finds another gap.
Okay, for 11 more points.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as a bonus action, I'm going to use Second Wind to get back 15 hit points.
Cool. Okay, now it's Bale. You see Claire is one of them is trying to snatch at Claire, but hasn't been able to grab onto her finely wrought plate. But the other one has got Escott in his grip.
Okay. How close together are these crustaceans?
Within 10 feet of each other. But no, they're big, so the gap between them would be 5 feet.
Okay. Bale will go ahead and try to move between them.
Okay.
Let's see here. His movement's 35. So if he can get to his full 35 to get behind them.
Do you want? You could move between them and out of their range, but you'd provoke an attack of opportunity, or just get between them. Which would you like to do?
Actually, kind of out of the range. I'm hoping for the attack of opportunity from them, so that it'll cause them to drop their grasp upon his party members to make that attack.
Okay. There are 2 claws on.
Because you said Escart had one on the foot and one on the arm.
Yeah. I'm gonna. That's a good idea. Okay. It will attack with one of its claws, definitely, because it can only. So it'll release 1 to 3. It's the arm. 4 to 6. It's the leg. Releases the leg and tries to hit you. Tries to claw you with its claw as you dash past. AC 24.
Oh, that hits.
Okay. And as it claws out at you, it catches you in its claw for 13.
Okay. All right. So it snaps and hits me in the claw. Am I grappled in the claw, or am I still able to move?
It's stopped you.
Okay. Then I'll take and I'll attack it with my arrows from Kamel. And let's see if the first one to hit. All right. First one will miss with a -2.
Oh, excellent. Anytime you get a minus, I'm going to roll on the fumbles. So can you roll a d20 again?
6.
6. Friendly fire again. I'm saying because you were aiming at the one that Escod was fighting, it'll hit Escod.
Okay. And that's 13 points of piercing damage from there. The second shot was 13. The second shot was 16 to hit with disadvantage.
Yep, that hits.
And that's a 18, 19, 22 points of damage.
Oof. Wow. Okay.
And that's 2 more arrows down.
That one punches its way through one of the plates and rips out the plate, and you can rips out the scaly plate, and you can see the greyish white blubbery flesh underneath it.
I opened it up, Escart. Hit it hard.
I will as soon as you stop hitting us.
Was that you? I thought it was that other worm that was running around here.
Claire, describe your battle.
All right. So, okay. So first, I'm gonna do a spell. Let me see. As a bonus action, I'm gonna keep my shield up, of course. As a bonus action, I'm going to... Let me see. I'm going to... How many people can I target with this? right. I'm going to target my 3 comrades, my two comrades, and I'm going to cast mass healing word on them. Heal in the name of Lathander as a radiant. Oh, so both of them will get 10 hit points back. So Trias and Charles, you get and Charles, you get 10 points of hit points back from Claire with her
Good.
healing spell, and then she goes up to the creature and tries to hit. Yes, so I'm gonna try and hit the creature now. So with my Morning Star, I move forward, and I'm going to try to hit the creature with my Morning Star. Alright, so and I don't get a disadvantage because I'm no longer poisoned. So, alright.
Yep.
And does a 24 hit?
Oh yes.
Alright, so I do 7 points of piercing, but since I hit the creature, I will spend my level 4 slot that I have no use for, and smite it in the name of the Thunder.
So your Morning Star lights up with radiant energy, and tell me the damage.
So how many dice is that? Is it? I can't remember now.
It's 5d8 radiant.
Yes, 5. It does 22 points of damage on top.
22.
Boom!
As there's a sizzling of sort of shrimp-like flesh, and the smell of seafood and crustaceans fills the air, and you can see steam and bubbling and spitting from underneath its plates as your Morning Star deals a mighty blow against it.
Yes,
and
that's all I could do.
Okay.
So I just go. So I sort of go. I glow. I go warm, 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 and then my hand reaches out and go heal in the name of Thunder, and like this energy of healing goes for my friends. Go up to the creature with my Morning Star, smack it, and I say smite thee, and it just hits it really hard. Epic stuff.
Cool. So yeah, you've done it quite a bit of damage. So the one facing you, let's see. It decides to back off. It retreats away. You can make an attack of opportunity if you like, Claire.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. All right. Ha ha! Huzzah! I shall smite thee. Oh, 21. I do 4 points of damage. Yep. And I'm going to smite it. I'm going to smite it with what?
You're going to smite it again?
Yes, with a level 3 spell.
Okay, roll your 4d8.
4d8. Done me for 20 points of damage on top.
Oof. Yep. Again, there's a sizzling hiss as you knock off other bits of its tough exoskeleton, and it drags itself. Drags itself in a slime back into the water in front of you and disappears into the darkness in the interior of the cave. You can't see it anymore.
Huzzah! I shall save you, my friends. The light is strong with me.
Meanwhile, back to you two. It's a large creature. It's a large creature, and it decides to move. It's got you both grappled, and it can move at half speed with you grappled. But so against your will, you are pulled 15 feet into the water, and you find yourself up to your. It starts backing down, backing away from you, but it's got the strength to pull you at the moment. You need to break the grapple if you want to avoid this. But it backs off 15 feet into the water and drags you up to your necks in water. You've moved off 15 feet, but you're only 5 feet deep. Oh, actually, that would be above your head. You're underwater, Bale. Okay. And Escod, because you're well, how tall is Bale?
Bale is 5 foot. Let's see here. Got it here. I believe he's,
if you're over 5,
yeah, he's over 5 foot. But
okay, I'm going to say you can just you're
5 foot 10
up to your
inches.
limit. The next round you'll be underwater. Both of you will be underwater, but at the moment you're not underwater. But you will suffer the. Well, you're already fighting at disadvantage. You're in water now, and it's dragging you back into its watery depths, dragging you back into the pool that tumbles over the side of this cliff down the waterfall and into the darkness. And as it does so, again, 1 to 3, it's Bale. 4 to 6, it's it'll go for Escod with its tentacles. 4 to 6. So Escod again, its tentacles. Its mouth opens and it's like it vomits tentacles all down you, trying to find gaps in your armor through you. I'd like you to make a Constitution save again, DC 13.
Okay.
As you feel your muscles going rigid and unable to move.
Modified 20.
Modified 20. Okay. Again, you fight through the pain and ignore the effects. I see what's wrong. Okay, and after then it's back to Escod.
Okay. I'm not sure how this is going to work since we're both kind of grappled and since we're mostly underwater. But as a second level spell, I want to cast Thunderwave.
Oh, I'm going to say because you're sort of being. Is there a somatic element?
There is, and I'm a warcaster, if that makes a difference.
So you can do it with one hand, can't you, as a warcaster?
Yeah.
You'll have to drop your weapon if you want to cast this spell.
Can I, like, fling it up on the land?
Yep.
Okay. Then I'll do that.
Okay. And there'll be 2 elements. I'm also going to say you need to make a concentration roll to time it properly with the water sort of splashing against your face. Otherwise, you'll get the verbal component wrong in the water. But it won't be too difficult. It's a difficulty 5, and if you roll a 1 or really low, you'll mess it up. But otherwise, you'll cast your spell.
I got a 9.
Okay. Yep. So, can you describe what happens, and then we'll roll but storytelling.
Okay.
Describe what happens first.
I lift my arm up above the water, flinging my long sword onto the land, and while my free hand is up in the air, it waves around doing casting the spell, and I verbalize the spell, and then I point it basically at my feet, and there's this big booming sound like an explosion going off. Normally it could be heard out to 300 feet. I'm not sure the water might
I'll say
that
150 feet.
Okay. So it's not quite as loud as normal, but basically there's a huge explosion and probably a giant wave of water explodes upward and all around us. And Claire's probably getting drenched at the moment.
Yep.
And yeah, normally this would throw back my opponent and anyone around me within 15 feet of me. Normally it would throw them back. Again, I'm not sure how this is going to work since we're grappled.
I'm gonna. I guess it usually makes some kind of save, and I'm gonna say if it fails its save, it releases you.
Okay. It has to make a Constitution save. The DC is 15.
Mm-hmm.
And on a failed save, it'll take 3d8 damage and be pushed back 10 feet. And now this affects every creature within 15 feet of me, so unfortunately Bale's going to have to do the same thing.
And you too, or does it not affect you?
It says each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you. So I'm guessing not
originating. Okay, yeah. It's originating from you. No, it's not you.
Yeah, it's a 15-foot cube around me, so I'm not even sure about Claire, how close she would be. But it did move back away from her, so hopefully it won't get her.
It pulled you 15 feet away. I'm going to say Claire's not affected. Claire's drenched, but apart from that...
And I don't know if it'll also... Because I don't know exactly where it is, it might even affect the other crustacean. I'm not sure.
Yep, it could do. I'll say it does, because the other one moved back 30, but... okay, so let's...
And on a successful save, the creature takes half damage and isn't pushed. But...
Okay, so the one... you said DC 15? Constitution save, did you say?
Yes.
So the one that's holding you gets a 6, so it takes a full blast and you break its grip on you and... Well, I'm going to say if Bale fails, he's still held. But if Bale makes it, he's released.
Well, the creature took 18 points of damage.
Bale failed.
Okay. So it flings both Bale and the creature how far away?
Just 10 feet.
10 feet.
Normally it would be 10 feet on land. In the water, maybe just 5. I don't know.
Yeah, 5 feet. 5 feet deeper.
And everybody takes 18 points of damage that didn't make their save.
Okay.
Alrighty. I guess
sorry,
Bale.
Mother. Sorry, Bale.
It's what happens, you know.
Hey, at least I'm not grappled anymore, for what that's worth.
Okay. Yep, and you're free. Would you like to move?
I will move back up onto the land and grab my sword.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you haven't equipped your sword yet, but you've got to where your sword is. Okay. Next round you can pick it up and use it if it comes to that. One other thing that happens actually is the explosion and the sound waves brings down some sort of debris and plants and things from the ceiling, and there's some dust in there, and as the dust there's some sort of pollen, yellow pollen pods that come falling down, and I'd like you to sorry about this, but you've decided to go into the dragon's lair. It's dangerous. Can you both make everybody can you make a save versus poison DC 15?
Would Bale have to, since he's still underwater?
No, he'll be underwater. I'll say Bale's not affected.
So what kind of save is it?
Constitution DC 15.
15.
15. Okay, you're okay. And Claire? Are you there, Claire?
Yeah, I failed. I got an 8.
Okay. These this sort of yellow pollen comes flying down from the ceiling, filling the air, choking the air, and you get a lungful of it before you're ready, and you just find yourself choking and spluttering and unable to do anything other than choke and splutter. Before you get a lung, you see Claire reacting the moment before you get your breath, and you're able to sort of cover your mouth and sort of control your breathing. And though you're coughing a little bit, you're not uncontrollably coughing and sneezing like Claire is. Claire looks like she's almost not being able. She's unable to breathe. Her coughing and sneezing so bad. Okay, that's the end of your round. Then it's Bale.
All right. Bale will use his acrobatics to try to break the grapple.
Okay. DC 14.
All right. And I got a DC 15.
Tell me how you. Okay, describe. That's one of your actions. Describe slipping out of the thing.
As being hit with this force of sound and such, and being pushed around, the water being pushed between my body and the claws, I go ahead and I use the culmination of events going on to slide my feet through the claw and push off on the claw and flip back into away from it, back towards where I was pushed from. And then from there, seeing that I'm kind of still underwater, I will, instead of using Kamau, I will go ahead and shoot this beast with an Eldritch Blast. So he's going to reskin his Eldritch Blast to look like arrows coming off his bow.
Just one point. Casting magic underwater, unless you've got water breathing, you can't do a spell with a verbal component.
Oh, okay. So it has a verbal, so I'm screwed on that. I'll go ahead and I'll try shooting 2 arrows at it then.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right.
Disadvantage.
All right. The first one is a 10. And
the water takes it.
The second one is an unnatural 21.
Okay, you're at such close range that you just find a gap between it and just shoot the arrow into his flesh.
And let's see here. I'm not forgetting my Colossal Slayer damage now, like I have been. All right, there's 10, 20, 21 points of damage.
21? Oof. I'll see if it's scared off by this. It's not much chance, but it might be. No, it continues. So that's Bale. Claire, you're just, I'm afraid you're just spluttering and coughing at the moment and can't breathe. But at the end of your turn, you can make another Constitution save.
Okay. All right. All right, let's have a look. Saving throw.
Let me just check that you can. But I think you can.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Yes, at the end of each of your turns, you can make another save. So
Okay.
go for it.
An 18.
Yep. This time you're able to control your coughing enough to get it under control. Your eyes are still streaming, and your but you've overcome the uncontrollable sneezing and choking that was affecting you, and you avoid the patches of this yellow pollen that are still sort of hovering about in the air. But that's the end of your turn this round. Okay.
Yep.
And then it's onto it. The one that one of them just will have now retreated into the dark murk of the water, and you won't find that one. But the one that's still on Bale, it lashes out with its other claw at you. But it's got advantage on this one, so let's see. Yeah, 22 will hit, won't it?
Just barely.
For 10 points damage, 10 points bludgeoning. And then, similar to what you saw happen to Escod, suddenly the tentacles come erupting through the watery murk towards you, finding gaps in your armor, touching your skin. And as it touches, a burning sensation takes control of your muscles, and you find your muscles seizing up. I'd like you to make a DC 14 Constitution save, poison save.
All right, and he
No,
fails.
DC 13. 13 it is. Is that?
And he fails.
Okay. Your muscles go rigid, and you find you can't move underwater in the grip of this thing. Okay. Over to Escod.
All right. I panicked for a moment there and went for my sword, and then realized, wait a second, I'm an Eldritch Knight. I don't have to pick my sword up. So instead of going for the sword, I'm going to try something. Again, I'm not sure how this is going to work in water, but I want to cast Acid Splash.
I'm going to say oh, hang on. It's been retreat. So it retreated another 15 feet. It's at a range of 30 feet now.
Acid Splash reaches 60 feet. Or the range is 60 feet.
Yeah. I'm just working out whether you can see where it is. It will have moved out of your range of sight by now, and you can't see in the dark, can you?
No. Well, in that case...
Bale, do you have any light source on you? You wouldn't have, would you? You sneak around in the dark.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, you've lost... these things have disappeared into the dark water with Bale, and you've no idea what's happened, where they are.
Can I pick up a rock? Can I find a rock?
Yes.
Then I'd like to pick up a rock and cast light on it, and then throw it in the general direction I thought Bale was.
Yes. Okay. It's make a DC 10 investigation roll, and if you've made the intelligence roll well enough, you've got in the right general area. How about
Natural
that?
20. Natural 20.
Yep. Okay, for natural 20, I'm going to say the rock gets lodged in between the scales of this crustacean, and it won't be able to hide from you or disappear. It's just a glowing light in the water now. Okay. So is there anything else I can do?
I think that's all I can do.
But that was a good use of a round. So you're just paralyzed with this poisonous burning in your muscles as you're dragged. No. The creature. But it's not the creature's turn yet. But yeah. So Bale, you are in the creature's grip. It lights up. Surprisingly, you get that amount, but you're in too much pain to do anything other than at the end of your turn you can make another Constitution save if you like.
Okay, definitely like to. Let's see here.
but let's see. And it's attacking you, and you're actually immobile. So it'll attack you twice at advantage. So this AC 13, that won't get through your armor class, will it?
No, that won't get through.
I mean, even if you don't have any dexterity bonuses, because you're immobile.
Well, let's see here. I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough.
With shield and studded leather, I think that puts me at a 14.
Yep. And the other one, oh no, that's the wrong one. 14. One of its claws, it's gloating, so it's not really trying to do its best, but it does. One of its claws does rip into you, and because you're immobilized, it's an auto crit on you. So
okay.
You take 12. 12 and 10. 22 points damage.
Wow.
And can you roll a D20, please, for me?
7.
7.
Yep.
As it crushes, as one of its talons crushes in on you, you feel a rib break, and even if you overcome the poison, you need to make a DC 15 Constitution roll at the beginning of each turn. Otherwise, you can't take actions or reactions from the internal injury.
All right.
Until you get healed, until you get some healing in you. But healing yourself will count as an action. So that's whose turn was that? That was yours, wasn't it? Or its turn? Did I miss you? Did I miss you, Claire?
Yes, you did. You did miss me.
Sorry, yeah, I did. So you haven't taken that damage yet. Sorry, Bale. At the end of your turn. Oh no, that was on the turn before. Oh, hang on. No, if I missed it, I missed it. This will be on that. The next turn it has, if it has a turn. Did you make your Constitution save at the end of the turn? No, Bale.
Saved it.
Bale. Do you?
Yes, Bale did. He made it with a 16.
Okay. So
With
forget the effects of the. Forget that 22 points of damage and the critical hit for now, because I forgot it, or I didn't apply it.
Well, I'll hold it off to this.
Forget it, because you're able to get away from it. But Claire, it's your turn before they act.
All right, bonus. Do I see them at all? Both of them.
You can see, yes, you can see light shining out of the water, and you can just see a sort of shadowy shape 30 feet through water of this big crustacean dragging Bale, and the way it's moving, it'll drag him round into a sort of out of sight of you, into a sort of side passage or a side cave next round, but you can still see it at the moment.
As long as I can see him, then I can do the spell. So once again, she reaches out with her hand and casts mass healing on both of her friends, and they will receive 8 hit points back.
Okay.
And that's her bonus action. Normal action is to attack something if there's something to attack.
Not physically. You won't be able to get to it to attack.
All right.
Do you have?
How far is it? Is it 60? Is it within 30 feet of me?
The water distorts the distance a bit, but you're guessing it's probably about that distance.
All right, 60 feet. And I cast Sacred Flame since like I don't as long as
Good.
I
Nice
Yeah,
one.
I just-
Yep, it's a cantrip, so you can cast it.
so you have to do a DC 15 Dexterity save or take 8 points of radiant damage.
Okay, it's got a straight dexterity, so let's see. Oh, it makes it.
Save.
So somehow
fine.
it sees your magic coming, and it's almost like it recognizes your magic, and it gets out of the way of it, and then on its turn, it drags Bale further down the corridor, but Bale isn't unconscious, so it's not the Bale isn't paralyzed anymore, so it's not the it's not a. I'm just gonna take its attacks again as normal. One, well, you are prone, so but you can use your you can use your dexterity, so it's your normal AC. Does a 14 or 15 hit?
No, it doesn't.
And with its other 19?
No, it doesn't in this case.
Okay. So yep, you avoid its pincer attacks on you as you're dragged further on into the darkness, out of sight of your colleagues, so they can still see the light shining off it. They know where you've gone and they know where, but you're not in direct line of sight from them. Escort. And its tentacles come again. So can you make another poison save against its tentacles?
Okay, and that will be
Actually, let me check, because some D&D things say you you're immune to the effects again. I'm going to say because you threw it off this round, you're not. It's not going to affect you this round.
He made a 14 DC
Okay,
Constitution
fine.
save. So
fine, good. Okay, so you're dragged around the corner. Escort, it's back to you.
Is it possible to run along the ground next to the water, or would I have to go in the water to follow them?
You do see a rock, sort of 15, maybe 20 feet, between 15 and 20 feet away, that you could, with a successful jump, land on and sort of possibly see into the cave that it's in. It looks like a slippery rock, but if you make a DC, let's see, 14 plus D6, DC 15 athletics roll, you'd be able to land on the rock.
Okay, I'm going to try it.
If you fail it, you'll plunge into the water. And
Okay.
It's deeper there.
I'll try to jump onto the rock. And I got a 25.
Okay, yep, you land fine, and you can see Bale and the thing from where you are.
Is that my action, or was that my movement?
No, that was your movement.
Okay, then as action, I want to try to cast Acid Splash on the crustacean.
Okay, yep.
It would have to, let's see. It must succeed on a dexterity saving throw of DC 15. Or take 2d6 damage.
Is it an area attack, or can you just target the one thing? Actually, it's
you can do
so
you can do either one, and I'm just doing the one thing.
Okay, it's a large creature anyway, so you could easily target a bit that wasn't within 5 feet of Bale. So
yeah.
DC 15, did you say?
Dexterity, yes.
It seems to recognize your spell, but it can't do anything. It's Bale sort of holds it in position for a second longer than it wants to be, and your acid spray hits it.
I only did 3 points of damage to it. Okay.
There's a little bit of sizzling and singeing, but it's still there. Bale.
Bale try to get out of its clutches again with his acrobatics. He rolled a 17 on disadvantage.
Yep, you escape.
And then he will go ahead and 2 arrows at him with sharpshooter. And first is it's disadvantage. Okay. First will miss with a 3.
Yep.
And the second does an 18 hit.
Yes, it does.
All right. So let's see here. And 6, 8, 18, 21, 22 points of damage.
Okay. You fire your arrow into a bit of its flesh, and sort of grey ichor comes spewing out of it, muddying the water, and muddy that you can see light, but you lose sight of Bale and this this large crustacean in the ichor that's spewing up through the water, and then gradually it floats to the. I don't know if it would float, but I'm going to say it floats to the surface with Bale sort of, and Bale makes it back to the surface of this pool. Bale, make a Constitution save, DC 15, as you take a breath of the. Well, it doesn't matter. We're out of combat, but you can describe whether you get choked by these pollen before you overcome the pollen.
Coming back up, Bale would take a big gasp of air because he was running on his own air tanks there for that, and he was getting close to depletion. So he'll suck in a portion of air. So he gets some of the spores, and his DC for that was a 4 for the save on it. So.
Okay, so you're spluttering and choking. You think you've got to the surface, but then you still can't breathe, and you're still spluttering and choking. But eventually, you're going to make that save, and you're not going to die of suffocation before you've the threat, the immediate threat, has passed at the moment. But you feel that with the noise and everything like that, you reckon that if something lives here, it probably knows you're here.
Hopefully, we just killed everything that lives here.
Bale will get his way to solid and slump down for a minute, checking himself, and then he's going to less restoration, get rid of his poison condition.
Okay.
Nice. And as a, I guess if we're out of combat, as a little reward, I shall cast a healing word on my 2 friends.
Well, I'm fine at this point. If you want to think.
All right. Does Bale need any healing?
Yeah, Bale looks pretty chopped up.
All right, I come up to Bale and I say, Bale, feel the light of Lathander as it heals you, my friend. And she heals you for 21 hit points.
Okay, that almost puts me up.
Well, do you want to take a short rest?
Oh, no, we need to get on. We've made enough noise and racket here, Bale will say. And besides this, it hasn't been the air around here is kind of foul.
Indeed. Let us carry on. But I must pray tell you that I am getting short on spells. Or magics. Or the ways of Lathander, as whatever you wish to call it. But yes, let's just quickly deal with these ruffians. that you speak of?
You're so you're in a sort of underground river. The sort of cave mouth. A river is flowing through a sort of natural a natural cavern. It's at the moment here it's sluggish, but you can hear somewhere in the dark white water and rushing water probably coming down into the pool from above.
I will make sure to retrieve my sword before we leave.
Okay.
Don't forget your shield.
And
Yeah.
okay, as you're casting your spells, recovering from the combat, there are a few hanging vines. Some of the vines that held these pollen pods, they just start spreading down from the mouth of the waterfall entrance.
All right, it looks like we need to go up. I check this. I check the vines to see if they are sturdy enough to climb.
The vines are stretching down, and within seconds, they've completely blocked your way out.
Oh.
Okay, but do they look sturdy to climb?
Now that you get close and you're checking them for sturdiness, they've got little thorns and tags on them that if you tried climbing them or pushing through them, there's a good chance they'd rip at you and harm you.
With plate mail on.
Pardon?
With plate mail gloves on and armor on.
There's a lot of vines. Some might find their way through.
I can stand back and throw acid and fire at them if you would like.
Bale was going to get at them and try to study them and see whether or not he feels they're magical or not.
The way they grew was magical, though they themselves are not.
Okay, so if they're not, then he'll go ahead and pass through them, use his land stride.
Okay. So are you going back out onto the outside of the mountain through them, or because they're actually not blocking your progress into the mountain, they're blocking your progress out.
No, I was looking at the progress then. If they're not blocking the progress, he's not gonna worry because he wants to go further in to
I
get
do
to
too.
the mission objective.
Yes.
But should I try to burn them away in case we have to retreat?
Well, we may come back out the same way we've come in. So,
All right.
Yeah, how are we getting
Onward.
out?
well, we'll have to see when the time comes.
Okay.
Indeed.
This is all going to be played from the hip.
All right. Best way.
All right.
Forward
All right.
then.
Okay, let us go. Forward.
So, you the current is the current of the river is against you, but sort of it's not particularly fast flowing at the moment, and to swim it would be difficult but possible to swim against it, but you'd make slow progress.
Is there a shoreline?
One, I could aid us in this quest, my good friends. If we require swimming, then or whatever, I can help us with this effort.
Well, if we don't have to swim, all the better.
Yep, you to start off with, you can follow the side of this cavern, but then the roof slowly comes lower, and you see sort of little streams trickling down from above, and you can hear the rumbling roar of water crashing into a pool ahead. What light source are you going to use?
I guess.
My dark vision.
All right. Before we head on into the unknown, my friends, please take aid from me. And she touches, she puts her hand upon, she reaches out her holy symbol, and looks at Charles and Treus and herself, and gives them aid. So you will have 5 temporary hit points added to your maximum hit. It's like you have 5 temporary hit points. There you go, for 8 hours.
Okay. I will cast light on my shield.
So don't forget you got 5 temporary hit points.
They'll be taking point, keeping about 15 feet in front of them. That way, the light won't interfere with his dark vision.
Okay.
And I just follow the light source as well.
So the 2 humans stick together with the light, and Escott, you are human, aren't you?
Yes.
Yep. So Escott and Claire stick together in the light, and Bale heads off into the darkness a little bit ahead, pushing. It's difficult terrain, but it doesn't sort of particularly harm Bale's progress, but it's difficult for Escott and Claire. But it starts affecting even Bale when the roof of the cavern gets so low that you'll have to actually and the sides of the cavern are so steep that you'll have to start swimming rather than, you can't walk any further. You'll just have to swim up the river if you want to continue.
Can I see how far ahead that I'd have to swim?
No. As far as your eyes, the 60 feet that your eyes see, the water seems to the water seems to be coming downhill towards you, so you're going up against rapids. It'll be a kind of push against rapids upstream. You'll need to somehow climb against the flow.
And how deep is this?
It's big. It's big enough for a gargantuan dragon to swim through it.
Crap.
Yeah.
Well, I've got chainmail. I can't swim through that.
And I've got plate mail.
Yeah. And we can't even carry our armor with us because, we'll still sink to the bottom.
Bale will take out Kamel, out the
one. I can
his rope.
I mean, I can.
Tie it to
one.
Go ahead.
One. I can. One. Have you heard of miracles before, my good friend? I can walk upon the waters.
There's not enough space between the water and the ceiling to walk upon the water. You've got to go underwater.
Ah, damn it!
Or sort of almost. You couldn't walk. You could possibly crawl between the. There's a little bit of space, but not enough space to walk. Wriggle on the water.
Bale will tie 50 foot of his rope to an arrow. He'll try to force his way up. We'll say 30, and take a shot with the arrow, and hoping that the arrow and the rope will go up and through, and maybe a purchase place where you could use the pull oneself to assist in moving through the flowing water.
Okay. Okay. And the rest of you, as Bale is sort of, you won't be able to get you because you're sort of firing into. You can't see exactly where you're firing at the moment. The route of this underground river twists a bit, and possibly you. Anyway, I don't think even with your sight, you're not too sure where you can find purchase. So you're sort of shooting at things that look possible. It will take a few shots for you to secure the rope. Okay.
Okay. No problem.
Take you a while. I mean, but eventually you will using this tactic.
How-
What are the others doing whilst Bale is shooting into the dark?
How many shots?
I attempt to shoot my grappling hook, like go poof, into the waters, like like swing it and then chuck it into the waters. Like hopefully use the grappling hook as a like a anchor or something.
Okay. Yep. Both of you are trying this tactic, and it will work. Will work after a short while. Because
I got a grappling hook.
Yep. It will. That will definitely work. You'll be able to find purchase and pull yourself up against the current, bit at a time, upstream.
All right. And also, I wish to, before we climb or go any further, I cast guidance upon myself just in case I need
Okay.
to.
As you're doing this, I'd just like to check what Escod is doing whilst the others are securing their ropes and finding a purchase to proceed up against
I guess I'll put my shield on my back, and I've put my sword away, and I guess I'll try to use the ropes to pull myself along.
Okay. It is a tactic that will work. It's not fast progress, but it is progress, and you're pulling yourself. I'm
going to go ahead and cast Expeditious Retreat on myself as a first level spell.
A very good idea.
Help me.
A very good idea.
Move faster anyway.
Okay. You start progressing sort of up against the force of the water, but it's very hard going. Can all of you make an athletics check, DC 15, please?
Cool.
I got a 14.
All right, 18 for Bale. Yeah, athletics, you said, so 18.
And are we still poisoned, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you've removed the poison. Has anybody removed the poison on you?
No, not magically.
I got 11. Damn it.
So I don't think Bale removed the poison on you, so you are still at disadvantage.
I got 11.
And okay, you are making progress, but all of you. But Claire and Escod are finding it very difficult going. You've got one level of exhaustion as you're pulling yourself up. It won't affect you. Well, it does affect you in the same way. It's like you're poisoned now. You've got disadvantage on ability checks. But Escod, it doesn't make it any worse. But it could, if exhaustion continues to rise, it could. But as you're pulling yourself up against the current, up against the rapids, you notice the level of the water. You notice that surprisingly it starts getting easier, and the level of the water is dropping. The amount of water that's coming down has reduced significantly.
Well, that's good at least.
Yay.
When Bale gets to
make an investigation roll or a nature roll, whichever one you want.
I probably will go for Investigation.
DC 15.
15.
Nope, nowhere near it.
Oh, I could use guidance. Yay.
If you want. Yep.
I got 15, 16.
And Bale, did you get anything?
It was what, survival or nature?
It was nature or investigation.
Oh, investigation. Okay, then I got a nature. Where are you? I have myself a 12.
Okay. You all of you notice that the level of water and the strength of water has decreased, but Claire, you don't think it's just because you're going uphill or anything like that. You think that for some reason, whatever the water that was flowing has been blocked by something.
Oh dear, my friends! It seems that something has blocked the flow of the waters.
Aren't we underwater?
You're now that the water has decreased, you're as I took it, you were sort of dragging yourself with your heads above the water, but swimming basically. But now that the level of water has reduced, you are just you are sort of wading up to your middles, sort of pulling yourself up through rapids.
All right. Continuing going forward.
Bale gets to the end of his rope.
Mm-hmm.
He'll start pulling it in. If someone's on the end of it, he'll be assisting them with their forward movement.
Same thing here, really. Okay,
so you continue going and get up to what is a large. As you go up, Bale, all of you notice signs that a green dragon has used this cave quite regularly. You see little bits of. You see occasional dragon scales lodged in cracks, etc.
Well, the dragon, any of the dragon scales that Bale can put in the backpack.
Yes, you can.
He'll pick up some of them.
Nice.
As kind of like a trophy.
No,
of a sort.
I'll just have a look round to see if there's anything unusual, like with my perception. So I wish to perceive if there's anything unusual going on.
I mean, I'm guessing you're all doing that pretty much all the time. There are little sort of insects, like sort of dragonflies, hovering around the water.
Do we
underground dragonflies that seem to watch you? They don't seem to be behaving quite like natural dragonflies would.
Okay.
When Asgard gets up to Bale, Bale's going to look at it and ask, "How you doing? You feeling all right?"
Me? I've had better days, but I've had worse.
It seems. Be careful, my friends. It seems the mighty Chuff, or the dragon, is watching us. These dragonflies don't seem to be natural.
Neither is that worm. And Bale asks Asgard, "Can I take a look at you, see if there's anything I can do to help you on out?"
No, I'm healed, just tired.
Yeah, on that tiredness, maybe there's something I can do. And,
well, I've been poisoned and I'm exhausted.
Well, and
from the sound of it, a bit narky.
Yeah. Bale will cast Lesser Restoration on, and take away the poison condition.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Let's see. Second level.
Let's see.
We must continue our quest. We cannot rest here, my friends. It is too dangerous.
But do we see like a shoreline wrapped around where we can move around and a possible exit from where we're at?
Well, the river continues. You're in a slightly slower moving bit of river, but then you can hear more rapids up ahead again.
Is there a shoreline?
There are occasional rocks, occasional outcroppings, but no shoreline. This is just used by an amphibious creature, and it's almost like if there was a shoreline, they've reduced it. They've heightened their own advantages and make sure that whoever comes along here swims. And
but
if you want to continue upstream, you'll have to go completely underwater from now on. The ceiling has come down to the waterline.
Now the ceiling.
Oh, no, sorry. No, the ceiling. No, it hasn't. But you'll have to start crawling. It hasn't come down to the waterline because the waterline has reduced, has gone away.
Let's move quickly then, and then let's move quick before the water returns.
Do you want to start crawling? Do you want to start crawling up?
Yes.
The tunnel.
Start crawling with just crawl.
Okay. So making slow progress, crawling, sort of semi-prone, you start dragging yourself up this reduced riverbed, forcing yourself over rocks up the water, and then suddenly you hear this rumbling. What would you like to do?
Just keep crawling forward, and take guidance. There you go. That's all I can do.
You cast guidance. Bale, what would you like to do?
Bale, will kind of ready his bow, and he'll want to kind of go in stealth mode and into maybe not moving quite as fast, looking for darker shadows, hide on to, but still making it forward.
Okay, and what would Escott like to do?
Escott has had enough. He's exhausted. He's drenched. He's weighted down by his armor. He's crawling forward as fast as he can. I'm going to kill this damn dragon.
Okay. But before you meet the dragon, this wall of white water comes crashing down, completely flooding everything, and just washing you downstream. Can you? You can either go with the flood or try and resist it, but it's incredibly powerful. Which would you like to do? Well, actually.
Escott will try to fling himself on the side, grab a rock or something to hold himself there.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like dig in with my like boots, my steel boots and my grappling hook into the wall, and hold on to the rope as tightly around my waist as possible. So if the water does drag me, at least the grappling hook will provide like a safety belt sort of thing.
Okay, and Bale.
Bale will try to. He hears a rush of water begin. He will try dodge it. And
It's
try
basically on top of you by now. I mean, you've got an instant to react before it hits you.
Yeah, he's good and basically going to be trying to dodge it, but rolling over to try to take some cover by anything that he can find, whether it's a rock, log.
Okay. I'd like you to all make a DC 19 strength save, please.
Ooh.
21.
Would athletics come into play?
No, it's a strength save.
Okay.
Bale fails.
Bale fails.
Woohoo! I like it. Guidance. Hang on. Let's see what my guidance does for me.
No, guidance doesn't help you with a saving throw, I'm afraid. It's
Ah.
an ability
Okay,
check.
I got 17.
17? Okay, it's not enough.
But at least I'm hanging on the rope, though.
Pardon?
Would the rope count that way? But would the rope help me and the grappling hook and everything? Because it's like, I'm tied to it.
I'll give you advantage.
In 21 then, with advantage. Yay!
Okay. It will. The rope. What it is attached to and things like that are dragged down with you, but and you're dragged down with the current, even though you've saved. But it reduces the damage you take.
Since Bale was ahead of us and this hits, I'm taking it he's going to be like flying back towards us.
Yep.
Is there any chance I could like reach out and grab him?
No, I'm afraid not.
Okay.
There's no aiding each other. You're just all caught up in this white storm of watery pressure, and and you will take the ones who save. You're all washed downstream. Some of you 110 feet. Bale 220 feet, and you take Bale, you take 74 hit points damage, and the rest of you take half of that.
Holy shit!
What type of damage is that?
Bludgeoning.
Okay.
Let's see.
So half
37
would be 37. That's a useful little thing that you did there, Claire. I didn't know you could do maths on the on Roll20.
Yes, it's very clever.
Okay, and you're dragged. Bale, you're separated from the others.
All right. Bale is going to be grasping his side and everything, and he's going to find a purchase someplace where he's not drowning and not being pushed any further. And he's going to go ahead and cast some cure wounds on himself. To kind of help him. That almost killed him. So he'll get back, let's see here, with that one spell. Not a lot, but some. But that will...
Well, it's a good thing I gave you all temporary 5 hit points before we did go in there.
Yeah.
That guy ate up real quick.
Yeah.
But yes. All right, that gives me a 2 on top of it, so I got myself 8 points back. And that's a first level spell, so boom, down. That at least puts where...
And washing downstream, washing down with the stream, you see occasional skeletons of picked out bullets, and kegs, bulls, horses, all sorts of little things, and from the bite marks, from the occasional bite marks that you see in it and things like that, you reckon that they've been eaten by a gargantuan dragon.
Oh dear. What? Like Claire gets up and
you, Claire, and do you have a light source, because you're actually isolated? You don't end up next to
so
Escott.
Claire gets.
You've all been slightly isolated.
Alright, so Claire sort of stumbles up, like going like that, and
well, you get up and you can see the light source from where Escott is. Yeah.
fine. So she goes over to her friend, who's in.
We just got flushed down the dragon's toilet, basically.
Damn it!
Yes.
What should we do now?
I guess we try to find Bale. If the two of us made it, maybe he made it.
All right.
Again, the pressure of the water reduces, and the amount of water. Now, for a little time after this this huge sort of flush of water carried you all away, the level of the water was back to normal, but now it's dropped again to the reduced amount, suggesting that whatever flushed you out the first time is filling up again.
There's
I'm
nothing
just
to do.
I'm just going to yell for Bale. Bale, are you alive?
Bale! Fulmuchi, I can use my Fulmuchi spell cantrips. Bale! This loud echo of Bale or Fulmuchi voice echoes through the walls.
And you hear this echoing down through the caverns. Wielder of Kamal, are you alive? Shouting in Draconic.
I'll yell back in Draconic. No!
It looks like the dragon knows that we are here.
Oh, I think he knows we're here. I probably shouldn't have answered him, but it's too late now. I just want to get one chance to stick my blade down its throat before it eats me.
We definitely need a good rest before we can do anything like that.
If Bale will let us.
Bale hasn't been here. Sorry. Let's repeat.
I'm back.
Yep. Let's just repeat that little. First of all, you hear Escod's voice echoing down the caverns. What does Escod shout?
I'm just yelling, Bale, are you alive?
And then before you're able to really reply, you hear then a huge draconic voice echoing down the caverns. Wielder of Kamal, are you alive?
And Escod yells back in Draconic, no!
Bale will be silent, and he is going to hide. As much as he has a certain amount of fury, he's not totally stupid.
And as I explained to the others, but I hadn't realised you weren't there, so I'll just repeat this. After the first flush of water that sort of that beat you down this, basically what's a trap coming up, the flow of the river returned to normal coming downstream, and then again it's the flow has reduced again, as though whatever it was filling up before to release this flood of water is filling up again.
And I guess in like Claire has an idea. I say, let us hide amongst the dead and rest.
Very well.
So yeah, Claire goes towards.
Bale needs a good rest.
You don't actually know where Bale is. But you can hear
Yeah.
his voice sort of echoing down the.
Yeah.
Echoing.
So I go towards the biggest pile of flesh and skeletons I can see.
Okay. There are dead dead carcasses washed down by the flood.
So I sort of move a few and then like put a few dead corpses on top of me. So like
they're underwater.
Oh.
You occasionally see them float to the surface, but they're most of them are just dragged
Oh.
along at the bottom.
And so the ones that are floating, I just like bring them to shore, type thing, as many as I can, type thing to make like.
There isn't a comfortable shore to walk on, but you can drag them to a rock if you like.
Yeah, I just drag them as many as I can to like a rock or something, and then like make them and put them on top of me, and then like hide underneath all these dead corpses. I smell like the dead.
The rest of you?
Escod's just going to curl up on a rock and try to get some rest.
Okay.
Bale is going to really focus on resting. He is beat up pretty wicked.
And that's what Claire's doing. She's resting, but with all dead bodies on top of her.
Escod will let his light spell go out, and he'll just rest in the darkness for now.
Okay. Do you join up together before you start your rest, or do you
I guess
you just rest where you are?
I guess in like if Claire finds Bale and suggests the idea of like gathering all these dead corpses together and like hiding our scent or smell of being alive, maybe the dragon will ignore us. But there you go.
Yeah, if we can find Bale, sure.
Okay.
I didn't figure we could just yet.
Bale is just going to find a secure place for him to latch into that's not going to get pounded too much, and he plans on not moving if he can help it.
Bale, you find a good place to hide. You see the others. Come downstream, obviously looking for you, but they're not going to find you unless you reveal yourself to them. Is how you see it.
Okay. Bale, once they get within, we'll say 10 feet, Bale will go psst, psst.
Ah, there you are, Bale.
I shoot it. Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Aha. Aha, there you are. Well then, Bale, we are gathering these dead bodies to mask our scent and to cover our, to make a fleshy tent body sort of house. I know it sounds revolting, but it's the best thing I can come up with.
Oh, I forgot to give Ty inspiration earlier. I enjoyed your full description of the underwater thunder wave, so you can.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Nice.
And I'm starting to think we may not be able to make our way up this river.
And okay, you start resting, and after a while of resting, instantly you know what it is. You hear the crash of water, sort of from a distance, rushing down the riverway again. But it's quite a distance away. What would you like to do?
Just like keep to the rocks and just like
You know that this is your sort of the whole river system is like a bit of a trap, and there's very little to. It's designed to wash you out eventually.
Really quick, I'm going to take a rope out of my... What kind of pack do I have? Explorer's pack. I'm going to suggest that we tie each ourselves together, so at least the three of us will stay together.
How long has it been that we've been resting?
It'll be about 30 minutes.
Okay.
okay.
So not even a short rest.
Yeah. Bale will say, how far can Bale tell how far he is from where the crayfish in that crayfish cave was from where he is now?
Make a nature roll.
All right. Ooh, okay. All right, that should be pretty good. That's 16 plus 3, 19.
19. Okay. Yeah, you reckon you're about 120 feet upstream from there. Or
Bale will say, well, we could try to take cover in the in that crawfish cave, possibly, to stop us from being battered. I don't know. It's a gamble because I don't know if there's anything else in it, and I don't know if it has any air pockets in the top. But
I want you to decide now. Bale, what are you doing? Decision, please.
Bale's going towards the is wanting to go towards the cave where the crawfish do.
Claire?
The pond there that they're in.
I think Claire would like just take just hold, once the rope is round us all, and like she could just brace.
So Bale's running downstream and he's attached to the rope. Are you going with him or are you going to try?
Yeah, I'm going to go with him.
And Escott?
Go with him.
Okay. You can all make a saving throw, a strength saving throw. This time it's you've got advantage and it's DC 16. Because you're further downstream and it's not so bad.
Got it.
I got an 18.
Okay.
I got a 16.
Okay.
I got a. You said strength, right? Saving
strength. Yep.
Okay, that's.
Let me just check.
I got a 12.
Okay, that's not good enough.
Nope.
So Bale this time. Again. Let me just check the amount.
Let me help you out. Is it more than 15?
Full damage? Yes.
Okay. Bale's down.
Okay. And the other two, let me just check. I mean, unless it's a really freaky roll, it'll be more than that. It'll be, yep. Again, you're caught up in foaming water, and you take half of this. So you take 29 each. Are any of you conscious?
Bale hasn't. Bale's out.
I'm still conscious.
Okay.
Barely. Oh, God.
We take 29, or we take half of 29.
Oh, no, you take half is 29. The full one was 59.
Okay.
That's not
Yeah.
your full hit point. So you're still conscious. You're not dead outright, are you, Bale?
No, I'm just unconscious.
Yep. Battered against the
I still
side.
I still have 3 hit points.
Okay. You're dragged down. Bale is dragged out of the waterfall, and he's hanging at the end of the rope. I don't know, 20 or 30 feet below you, a dead weight hanging from the edge of the waterfall. You've been washed down to the edge of the waterfall, but you're still hanging on in the waterfall cave as the pressure of the water that has hit you against the sides of the cave, hit you against the ceiling, hit you against rocks. You've been hit by skeletons, etc., in the water. As the sort of chaos finishes, you find you've managed to avoid yourself being pulled over the side of the waterfall, and you're back in the crustacean cave with an unconscious Bale hanging at the end of the rope below you. And you hear another voice echoing down the corridor. "Wielder of Kamal, are you still alive?"
I'm not saying anything.
And I think that's where we'll leave it this week.
Okay.
That's a good spot. That's a good spot.
So I hope you've
just to make our
heroic adventure, but
just to make our situation worse.
Mm-hmm.
Are the thorny vines still there?
They've been kind of washed out by. I mean, there's a few. Now that you've said that, no, they'll have been washed away by the water. They'll have been ripped out by the water. So there are one or two, but not enough to create a barrier.
I'm going to cut the rope, let Bale fall, and go live a little life as a farmer somewhere.
Nice.
Just to announce, congratulations, you found Chuth's lair.
Good.
But whether you but a lair of a genius dragon is as well defended as a castle or whatever like that. But it's designed by the dragon to keep itself alive and its treasure safe. And you've only come across the traps so far, but it's got various things to protect itself.
Great.
If you want to go for Chuth, go for him. But you've got a week to decide what you'll do next.
Heal, rest, long rest, and try again.
Heal as you dangle from a rope. It's not actually the first time Bale's finished a session dangling from a rope, is it?
No, it's not.
Hey,
it's almost fairly common from time to time.
I think Mom was right. Become a cobbler.